A well-sized and well-executed Panda chronograph with a brilliant bracelet. This is something which you've never seen before. So, Timex recently launched the beautiful 39mm Waterbury Heritage Chronograph Panda, which is a well-sized quartz chronograph which emulates a mechanical movement, inspired in my opinion from one of the most trending chronographs nowadays, the Black Bay Chrono. The value of Timex, in my opinion, consists in the idea of taking the best from the watch world, put them together, respond to the actual market preferences, and offer it for a super affordable price. This is the value of Timex, in my opinion. Why I was surprised this time? Besides the appealing and the trending Panda design with its mechanical haptic experience, the bracelet offered for this model is something which I've never seen before. The adjustment of the bracelet links, it is extremely simple, extremely effective and logical. I was like, why nobody thought about this before? Imagine that to adjust the bracelet you simply need to drag one side of the link, turn it and remove the rest of the bracelet from the bracket. That crazy and simple it is. This type of bracelet adjustment can be found normally on German high-end bracelets like the Glashütte Original CQ, which had something similar. So yeah, super important offering from Timex, especially when we look at the price, which costs only 250 euros with the newsletter subscription discount of 20%, otherwise it's 320 or so. Getting back to our similarities with the Black Bay, I strongly believe this is inspired from that area, from the Tudor Rolex design language for multiple reasons. Firstly, it's the shape of the case, which feels to be pretty inspired from the oyster case design language. The screwing pushers, the bezel and the dial layout feels kind of a budget alternative of how the Tudor Black Bay chronograph should have been sized on a 40mm case. I'm mentioning that because the chronograph line from Tudor is still offered in 42mm, which is not that inclusive size-wise for a lot of people. So Timex did what Tudor couldn't. As quality, I've been reviewing Timex chronographs for quite some time already, and I have a clear idea of how much they can offer for $240. In this case, they exceeded the complexity level of the watch itself, has an elaborated bracelet and a bit of more complexity on the case level, but faking some of the aspects like the screwing pushers which aren't functional. I thought it is possible given the fact that the Seiko Flightmaster had such a feature for the price range at some point. But yeah, I can cope with the mechanical feeling of the pushers when actioning them, however, I cannot cope with the bezel alignment, which ruins a bit from the excitement of the watch. And I think after the review I will request to change it and to provide me an aligned one. Now, as design being inspired from watches with confirmed hype, this Waterbury Chrono feels very familiar. I do appreciate the reduced size of it, it is well balanced and it's nicely contrasted with bicompax Panda subdials against the tachymeter reading. This being a known contrast recognized as the Daytona one, later on continued by the more affordable Black Bay Chrono. So let's go specs. We have a 39mm case which wears accordingly, has 46.5mm as lug tip to lug tip, has 13.7mm in height, which is curiously tall for a quartz movement, has 20mm between the lugs and weighs 134 grams with the bracelet adjusted. We have an acrylic box glass, 50 meters as waterproofness, and inside we have a quartz module with a 1224 subdial and a minute counter on the left hand side, meaning that there is no active seconds hand on the dial. But the good news is, this module emulates a mechanical movement. The pusher's action is in a two-step approach as the mechanical ones, having also the sweep of the chronograph hand moving into smaller increments. However, the downside of this concept is the following. This model shares the same movement as the Timex Merlin chronograph, my preferred budget chronograph by a mile. To meet the idea of a bicompax, they kept the 1224 and the minute counter covering the small second subdial, and as a result, the watch is static. If you don't activate the chronograph hand, there is no indicator that the watch is working. And because of that, I was paranoid when I received it. The standard price of the model is 319 euros, but if you subscribe to their newsletter, you'll receive a 20% off code to apply and to purchase this watch with 252 euros. Getting into the details, we're talking about a stunning bicompax chronograph transposed into the actual trends. Clean dial, clean Panda contrast with balanced text on top and on the bottom to unveil elegance and everyday practicality. But a bit of heritage added as well, because the watch features a discrete box acrylic glass. which creates the iconic vintage and sport distortion. On the modern way, we have a lacquer tachymeter bezel which looks very good and works compositionally with the black subdials, but it's badly aligned at a bit towards left, and that annoys me because although I'm not a pretentious guy when I pay affordable for a watch, this alignment of the bezel it's not forgivable in my opinion because it's just a matter of paying attention and has nothing to do with the cut costs which might reflect on the watch quality. It's just dumb. The foreground is silver with a sunburst, but it's discreet. I mean, it clearly offers a contrast against the black birded subdials, which are outlined towards the interior with a highly polished accent. This accent, when angled, can be spotted and communicates chromatically with the two-step faceted markers, but also the hand. I appreciate this Speedmaster-ish chronograph hand due to its arrow shape, which obviously hosts lume alongside the three-dimensional faceted hand. I also like the simplicity of the watch and its symmetry without a date window. I like the baton hands and how the title and the bottom text is balancing the dial, but mostly I like the fact that this Waterbury doesn't have that Art Deco W logo extension on the chronograph hand as Timex used us to offer on the Waterbury selection. The lume is okay, typical for Timex, with lume dots above each marker, on the baton hands, but also on the chronograph tip as I was mentioning. I always appreciate the fact that they're not cutting cost-wise the lume no matter the price range. The case, as I was mentioning, it's simple and well refined. There is a step up in the brushing level in my opinion, which can be found on the bracelet rhythm as well. So the case angles-wise is pretty basic, the side facet unifies with the top one without any polished transitional chamfer as Rolex and Tudor does. I like how the case blends as a volume with the polished end links. It creates a modern unitary volume with a premium look. This model comes in two versions, the Panda dial but also the gilt dial, which is in my opinion a missed opportunity. I think they've added too many gold accents on the bezel and the pushers. It's actually similar to my steel and gold Black Bay Chrono. But a Black Bay Chrono which is basically 20 times more cheaper, sized correctly at 39mm and contrasted accordingly. It's a looker on the wrist, it pops, it offers the desired Panda contrast and it doesn't look affordable at all. I like the way the case blends with the bracelet, it feels authentic, the quality of the bracelet is very good, although it has a discrete taper from 20mm to 18mm, the manual adjusting of the sizing is simply brilliant. But hold on, it works with leather straps as well, as I hosted it into this 7 Friends and Watches leather or on the curved rubber as well. And although has 13.5mm in height, on the wrist the watch profile lays down on the wrist surface. Basically the fatty case back gets buried on the wrist and it looks alright. Overall, I do enjoy how Timex transposed this concept of bicompax Panda chronograph inspired from Tudor but sized accordingly at 39mm. Uber surprised by the way the sizing of the bracelet can be adjusted. I've never seen such a simple way to drag and remove the links without any tools or a watchmaker knowledge to adjust the bracelet in 2025. It's just brilliant. So yeah, these are my initial thoughts in regard to this Waterbury Heritage Chronograph. With the usual curiosity, what do you think about this model? Please let me know in the comments below. And as usual, if you're new around, please consider subscribing for future episodes. Thank you very much, thanks for watching, and until next time, be brave and stay safe.